Okay, heading inside the house. So we have these double closets, double coat closets, pretty cool. Concrete floor here, so this might have been part of a porch at some point. But it's just for information. And then overall, looks like mostly all original woodwork, which I find really cool. Original colors. It's kind of a green wash color, which is interesting. But if you don't like it, it could be painted. Original or really old wallpaper throughout a lot of the rooms. The walls seem to be in good condition. There are some old cracks in some of the ceilings. That's just kind of the way older houses are going to be with plaster. I'm not too concerned about it. There's some repairs needed there. They had something big hanging there. Interesting. I didn't see that before. And then kitchen. So it's basically original kitchen. Quite a bit of storage for a small kitchen. Some of it's high up. And then refrigerator's kind of awkwardly over there. Ovens there. Both. I do test all the fixtures and appliances. And so these work. It works. There's the old electrical panel, which I have in the report. It's basically just a junction box now. There's some wires that run through it. And the sink. This sink drains a little slow, and it has a little bit of drip there, which that's actually not in the report yet. Try to remember to add that. Everything else seems to be pretty functional. Cabinetry, doors, is plain plywood. Which lasts a long time. Let's talk about the water heater. Water heater is about 17 years old. Seems to still be functioning fine, but it's missing its earthquake straps, and it really should have a pan when it's in the house, installed in the house. And then the temperature pressure relief valve overflow. It goes through the floor. We like to see that just draining into the pan because that's a safety feature. You want to see if that's going off because it means that the pressure is too high. So there's a few issues there with that. Well, this is pretty cool. If you didn't see this, there's a ironing board, which is fully functional and original. It's pretty cool. Built in there. Put your telephone here. All right, let's talk about flooring. Back to that. So it is carpet from about 40 years ago. Definitely needs to be replaced. It has vinyl flooring elsewhere. Also older than that, most likely. A little bit newer in here. The bathroom was redone at some point. They even replaced the window with the vinyl. But in this tile, more modern toilet and pedestal sink. The tile does have mold and mildew around the base. And I'll show you looks like there's access through this closet if that valve ever needs to be worked on, which is pretty handy. Okay. Oh, and here we can see that there's hardwood floors, most likely, underneath the carpets, which is pretty cool. And looks like a nice vertical grain hardwood, vertical grain fir, which is pretty cool. So that's kind of a feature, I think. And then you have classic doors and trim. I like it. Just walking over this heater. So the heat for the house is electric heater in the floor here. And there's no ducting and no fan. So it's basically just kind of what do we call that? I just lost the word. Sorry. But it just kind of radiates out. And so the bedrooms don't get a whole lot of heat, and so that'll be written up as rooms without heat. Eventually, they get warmed up if all the doors are open, which the heat wasn't on when I got here, so it was pretty cold. But it is heating up, which is good. So let's talk about insulation because of simple heating system. In the ceiling, there's only about an inch of insulation up there, which they now require almost 20 inches for modern new houses. So, and that's blowing, and this is just a bat insulation that's laying on the ceiling. But also, since we're talking about it, the attic, there is knob and tube wiring up there, which would be the first kind of wiring was used, and we don't really call that safe any longer. There's the attic access. It's a little hole. You have to remove the shelf and crawl up there. So I took a bunch of pictures up there, and I tested the knob and tube wiring to show that it is actually still is live. We want you to have an electrician look at that. Anything else about the attic? No, pretty much just that. The knob and tube, and just a limited insulation. And there's a bit of mess from the cedar roofing when they replaced that. Okay. I think pretty much covered this small house. You want to read through the whole report and let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, there's a lot to like about the house, but being it's an old house, there are a few issues, which just remind me actually, crawl space. So the floor heater hangs down in the crawl space, but I did crawl in there, crawled throughout, and there is no vapor barrier. It's just dirt floor down there, which we do like to see a vapor barrier. Insulation actually is much better than the attic. It has full floor insulation, which seems to be in okay condition. The drain pipe. So the drain pipe underneath the kitchen and in between the bathroom, it's actually is a leak. Actually, a couple leaks in the drain line. It's old galvanized. Easy access for plumber to get in there, under there and fix it. But there's pictures of that in the report. And then one other thing, the main beam underneath the house, which is probably underneath this wall. Maybe that wall. No, it's probably this wall. There's a main beam down there, great big beam, and there is evidence that there's been termites at the far end, meaning from the access at the front here. There's still some tubes. We call those termite tubes. Pretty rare around here, really, but took a few pictures of that. And then at the far end, when I was crawling back out, I noticed it looked like there was some holes drilled in the main beam. It's possible that it was treated at some point for termites, but I'd really want you to have a pest person look to see how much damage and if they're still around. Okay? All right, with that, I'm going to wrap this up. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for using Gant Property Inspections.